You are born within a narrow rocky crevice amidst the arid savanna, where light barely dares to flicker. Your body is still slick, your eyes haven't opened, and your legs lack the strength to even lift yourself. All you can do is lie still, pressed against the cold earth. Beside you lies another soul born moments before, yet there is no bond between you, only two tiny bodies struggling to exist. Your mother lies right there, her breath heavy after exhausting everything to bring her two cubs into the world. She is starved and depleted, yet remains vigilant, for this place is no sanctuary. Within minutes she is forced to rise. If she does not hunt now, all three will perish. She casts one final look at you and slips away from the den, leaving you in absolute silence. Outside, your father patrols the territory he fought so hard to claim. A foreign scent catches the wind, and then a lion appears. There is no hesitation. There is no retreat. Your father lunges forward, knowing that to flee means losing everything. But the disparity is too great. The lion overwhelms him completely, pinning him to the ground, and in a few brief seconds, it is over. Inside the den, you are oblivious. You remain there, waiting, as if the world hasn't changed at all. When your mother returns, she freezes at the sight outside, the lifeless body of her mate, and his killer still lingering nearby. She has no time for grief. She rushes into the den, seizes one of the two cubs, then falters. She cannot carry both. If she delays for a single second, she loses everything. In that fleeting moment, a choice is made. She drops the other, clinches you in her jaws, and runs without looking back. You slowly grow accustomed to your new sanctuary, a rock crevice deeper and more secluded, yet no safer than the last. Your eyes begin to open, clouded and sensitive to the light, while your limbs still tremble with every attempt to stand. The world outside remains too vast, too distant, and all you can do is huddle in the corner of the den, waiting. Your mother is rarely there. She appears only briefly, bringing with her the scent of blood and raw flesh, staying just long enough for you to nurse before vanishing again. You do not know where she goes, nor do you understand what she does, but you grasp one simple truth. If she does not return, you die. And so you learn the art of silence. You learn to remain motionless. You learn to exist without making a single sound. One day, as your mother departs as usual, the silence of the den is shattered. At the entrance, a long shadow slithers in, slow and deliberate. A serpent. Its body hugs the ground, moving soundlessly, its tongue flicking constantly as if tasting the very air. It hasn't stumbled here by accident. It knows exactly where it is going. You try to retreat, pressing yourself against the cold stone wall behind you, but there is nowhere left to hide. Your body is not yet strong enough to run. Your claws are not yet sharp enough to resist. You can only watch, helpless, as the distance between you vanishes. The snake draws closer, its head rising slightly, calibrating its strike. The air seems to freeze. Just as it prepares to lunge, the shadow at the entrance shifts abruptly. Your mother has returned. Without a warning cry, without a moment's hesitation, she strikes, her jaws clamping onto the serpent's body before it can react. It writhes and coils, struggling to break free, but the crushing grip does not relent. After a few moments, it goes still. Your mother drags the carcass outside, leaving you alone in the den once more. She does not check on you. She does not comfort you, and she does not stay a second longer than necessary. To her, the ordeal is over. But for you, something has just begun. You realize that even when hidden in the darkness, you are never truly safe. You no longer lie still within the den. Your limbs have hardened enough to hold your weight. Your eyes have adjusted to the searing glare of the outside world. And for the first time, you venture beyond the threshold that shielded you through your first weeks of life. The world unfolds far vaster than you imagined, yet emptier and more treacherous than anything you have ever known. Your mother does not pause to wait. She moves low through the tall grass, each step so phantom-like she nearly dissolves into the landscape. This time, you must keep pace. Ahead, a small prey animal is preoccupied with digging, utterly oblivious to the encroaching shadow. Your mother gives no vocal cue, yet you sense the exact heartbeat when action is required. You lunge with her. Everything happens in a blur. The prey bolts, twisting to flee, but it is already too late. Your mother's jaws have already locked onto its throat. You leap by instinct, claws sinking into its back, feeling the violent thrashing beneath your paws. A stray hoof nearly clips your head, close enough to remind you that the smallest error is paid for in blood. You tighten your grip, holding on until the movement falters, then vanishes entirely. It is your first taste of fresh kill, warm, pungent, and more real than anything you've ever known. You eat hungrily, almost greedily, as if understanding that such opportunities are never guaranteed. but the tides begin to shift. Your mother no longer shares as she once did. She eats first, forcing you to wait longer, and sometimes vanishes without leaving a scrap behind. During the hunts, she no longer permits you to follow. The gulf between you widens daily, though not a single word is spoken. Until one day, as you attempt to follow her as usual, she turns, not to lead, but to strike. A swift, calculated lunge, enough to send you reeling back. It is not meant to kill, but to make you understand. You can no longer stay. There are no farewells, no chance for retreat. You depart, step by step, leaving the familiar behind and entering a land devoid of your mother's scent. You are no longer a wandering novice. Time spent in solitude has taught you the art of patience, the mastery of every stride, and most crucially, the discipline of the wait. You no longer rush blindly at your prey. You stalk, you select, and you force them into a fatal error. Today, your prize is greater than ever before. An adult impala, swift and vigilant, yet flawed. It drifts mere inches from the herd, a gap just wide enough for opportunity. When the distance is primed, you erupt. The impala reacts, but it is too late. You are anchored to its back, claws notched deep, jaws locking onto the throat. It thrashes violently, kicking out with desperate force, but you do not relent. You have won. You should hoist the kill into the canopy, but the hunger is hollow and deep. You crouch, taking the first bite. Then, a foreign scent cuts through. A hyena, then another. Before long, the clan is circled. They do not strike immediately. They fan out, forcing you into a choice. You could fight, but you cannot overcome them all. You know this truth. From that moment on, you never repeat the mistake. You learn to drag your prize into the heights, far from the reach of opportunists. You mark your territory, patrolling the borders, and when a rival leopard encroaches, you do not withdraw. The clash is swift and savage. This time, you do not falter. You pin him down, forcing his retreat. After that, none dare return. This domain is yours. You have lived in solitude long enough to know this land by heart. Your scent clings to every trunk, your paw prints are etched into every trail, and no soul dares to trespass without hesitation. Everything seems settled, until a foreign scent pierces the air. You freeze. That scent is no prey. It is heavy, familiar in a way you cannot fully explain. A lion. You do not wait for confirmation. You turn and bolt, your body reacting before your mind can process. You surge through the grass, lunging toward the canopy, the only sanctuary that can offer survival. But this time, the distance is not enough. A crushing force strikes you from behind. You are slammed to the earth, given no chance to pivot. Agony flares through your frame as talons sink deep into your flesh. If pinned for even a moment longer, it all ends here. You writhe, twisting your body, searching for a fracture in the assault. And then, in one fleeting heartbeat, you break free. You do not look back. You run, pouring every remaining drop of strength into your escape. You survive, but you are no longer whole. The deep gashes turn every stride into a struggle. You cannot hunt. You cannot run. And your strength ebbs away with every passing hour. Then, the other scent arrives. Hyenas. This time, you do not run. Not because you lack the will, but because you lack the means. They close in. Slow, deliberate, certain. You do not resist. You know the end has come. But somewhere out there, your offspring live on, and one day, they will tread upon this very soil, fated to repeat everything you have endured.